Being a homemaker means managing countless little tasks, but it also comes with the joy of discovering new ways to refresh your space. The other day, I experimented with layering table runners while setting up the dining table, and I've been in love with the idea ever since. It instantly made sense to me, and the best part, it adds so much color and freshness to the space. On days when I don't feel like tackling a long to-do list, I start with something that excites me. For me, redoing this area always gives me an instant energy boost. Removing unnecessary things, switching up the layout, and playing with new colors. It's a simple way to reset my mood and make everything feel brand new. This little change always acts as a perfect starting point for me. Mixing quick, enjoyable tasks with everyday chores can make you feel like you're achieving more in less time. Sometimes there are small things on our to-do list that don't take long but still linger at the back of our minds. For example, the other day I bought a few new plants, but I wasn't happy with how they looked in my space. The thought of rearranging them kept crossing my mind, and I knew it would take just a couple of minutes. So instead of putting it off, I slotted it between my other chores. Not only was it fun, but it also helped me check off another task effortlessly. I sometimes also love to make use of this humidifier next to the plants. I will confess that a bigger version would be a better fit, but I like the vibe this one creates, which is why I held on to this mini version too. There's a story I once heard about a sculptor. He was chiseling away at a huge block of marble when someone asked, "How do you know what to carve?" The sculptor smiled and said, "The sculpture is already inside. I'm just removing what's unnecessary." That story always reminds me that life works the same way. We often think we need to add more achievements, more complexity to feel complete. But real strength isn't about doing more, it's about letting go of what holds us back: self-doubt, overthinking, fear of failure. I roll out these moong dal parathas, I think about how simplicity can be just as fulfilling. We usually make these with leftover dal, but today I made it from scratch, simple ingredients coming together to create something wholesome. It's the little things, the everyday efforts that shape who we are. At the end of the day, it's not about doing everything perfectly or chasing after too much. Sometimes just going with the flow, keeping things simple and making the most of what we have is enough. And honestly, that applies to both life and a good, comforting meal like this one. Many tiny tasks often come together to feel like one big, overwhelming chore, not in reality, but in our minds. I first started using this trick years ago when I was working, and now as a homemaker, I find it just as effective. I set a timer for 10 minutes and get going with all the little things that need to be done around the house. It could be as simple as putting things back in order, but having a time limit makes all the difference. They say work expands to fill the time we give it, which is why setting a small window keeps things efficient. I'm always amazed at how much I can get done in those 10 minutes. It's like a small challenge that pushes me to move faster. With a few minutes left, I pulled out this vanish powder I got in my last grocery haul. It's great for tackling stains, they say, and you can either make a paste for targeted cleaning or use it dry by scrubbing it into carpets with a brush and letting it sit for a while. Honestly, I didn't plan on doing this today, but with the timer running, I always end up doing more than expected. The last thing on my list was folding and putting away sweaters and clothes, and just like that, my 10 minutes were up, and the house was already looking more put together. I know most of us already stay motivated to do our daily chores, but tricks like this come in handy, especially on days when motivation is low. And remember, work fills time, so the more time you give it, the more time it will take. As the day moves closer to noon, I like making small changes to shift the ambience of my home. A quick fix, lowering the blinds, or maybe pulling the curtains. It instantly makes the space feel calmer and cozier, setting the mood for the next part of the day. And this trick works even better during the summer days, I'm sure you'll all agree. Now, before I begin cooking, I also make it a point to wipe down the kitchen countertops. It's a small habit, but it makes a big difference. Starting with a fresh, clean surface makes the whole process feel smoother and more organized. had put this bottle in the dishwasher, but this is how it came out, not fully clean. So I went back to an old trick that works every time. Just add some raw rice and dish soap into the bottle, give it a good shake, and watch the grease loosen up. It's such a simple yet effective way to get oil bottles sparkling clean. I've shared this before, but in case you missed it, here it is again. Some tasks are best done on the go, and this is definitely one of them. Try it out. Some things feel like small achievements, but they bring a kind of joy that's hard to explain. Like randomly spotting red carrots in a German store. If you know, you know. Apart from the old-looking ones from Indian stores, these aren't so common here, so finding them felt like a victory. Making gajar ka halwa with these felt even more special. I like keeping the milk quantity low so that the carrots still have a bit of bite to them. Of course, you can speed things up using a pressure cooker, but some recipes are just meant to be slow cooked, letting the flavors develop at their own pace. And honestly, taking my time with this one made all the difference. Now here's a trick that takes this halwa to another level. Just sprinkle some milk powder on top and slowly fold it in. It transforms into tiny khoya-like chunks, adding an extra layer of richness. That's it, just milk, sugar, and a little patience. Simple yet so good. It's funny how even the smallest changes can make an impact, whether it's using milk powder in this recipe, or using a 10-minute timer to reset the home, finding a new cleaning trick, or just readjusting the ambience. Sometimes it's not about the task itself, but about how it makes the space feel. More organized, more refreshed, more you. And honestly, that's what makes every little effort worth it. And with that, today's little changes come to an end. I'll see you all in the next one.